big thanks to Polar Grilli for sponsoring this video.
This is how they grill ribs in Finland. We all know how American barbecue works. Low and slow, big smokers, and just having a good time, relaxing, not worrying about what's coming out on the other end. But the way they do it in Finland is completely different. And if you never heard about pork ribs coming from Finland, they're good, trust me. In Finland, they got huts where they sit in the summertime because even in the summertime, it's a bit nippy out. So they got huts and they put a grill like this in a hut, or sometimes they take it outside, but most of the times they just have it in a hut. And then they have a fire and they're sitting around it. It's like a sweat lodge without the sweating part, but with the cooking part. So I selected some beautiful ribs and we're gonna be cooking just like the people do in Finland. If I'm in Finland and I wanna cook, I wanna get warm as soon as possible. So I'm gonna fire up my beautiful Polar Grilli. And that's another thing they do. They make everything like an E at the end. So if you want to speak Finnish, it's very easy. Just put an E at the end. This is a grilli, and we're going to fire it up.
You pitmaster E?
Pitmaster E. And then we make ribsie. So first I got to make some kindle-y. So I'm just taking my small axe and my kindle maker and chop it up. That's how we do. Now I'm using birch for my kindle because this is the same stuff that matches are made of. It lights easy. You almost don't need a fire starter, it just ignites. Just stack it up with a little bit of bark in the center and then light it up. Just add a little bit more wood and let the fire build up by itself. Now that I've established my base fire, I'm gonna use some serious wood. This is beech. It's way more dense than birch, and I'm gonna build up a real fire with this. And the biggest advantage of this type of wood is that it is creating embers while it's burning down. So at the bottom, you're gonna have this big ball of embers, which holds a lot of energy and radiates in a slow but consistent manner. And that is absolutely perfect when cooking on wood fire. Other types of wood like oak, they burn down, but they don't create as much embers. Basically, they just turn to ash and all of the energy is gone. First, I'm gonna season these ribs with some salt and pepper. And I'm not taking off the membrane because I'm gonna need that later on to keep the ribs juicy and tender. Now I'm gonna clamp the ribs in this holder. And this holder attaches to our grill. Look at it. This already makes me hungry. And now I'm just gonna hang it in. There we go, look at that. And now I can place it wherever I like. I can place it over the fire, or I can just rotate it, placing it close by the fire. In my case, I'm just gonna set it to a high position, lock it in place, and then have it hang over the fire where it's gonna be roasting, picking up some of that smoke flavor, and building up a crust from the fire. Of course, we gotta have a side dish. So I'm taking out my butchery hooks, hooking on some lemons, bell peppers, onions, and then I'm gonna hang them next to the fire so they can slowly roast. To make the ribs taste even better, I'm gonna make a butter basting sauce. So I'm starting off with 100 grams of clarified butter, 50 milliliters of olive oil, 3 tablespoons of fine chopped parsley, a clove of pressed garlic, 1 teaspoon of table salt, 1 teaspoon of fresh ground cayenne pepper, a tablespoon of fresh chopped thyme leaves. And now, to finish it off, I got this little bush of rosemary. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna place this wooden spoon in this bush. And essentially, I'm making my own rosemary brush. And this is going to add another layer of flavor. And as you can see, we got a real good widespread bush. The ribs are turning nice golden brown, and this is the exact moment that I want to add the flavor. We're getting on that beautiful crust. I'm dipping my rosemary into the oil and butter. And now I can brush it onto the ribs. These are gonna taste so amazing when they're done. few more hours hanging over the fire, going low and slow, hitting all sides with smoke and fire, and it's gonna be absolutely amazing. The veggies are almost done, but I've got one last crazy thought. What if I hang the veggies underneath the ribs, and while the fat is dripping down, the veggies cook even further with the fat of the ribs dripping onto them? Ooh, this is gonna be so good. This is gonna be amazing. This is a stroke of pure geniusness. Wow, that is a fantastic idea. Of course, it only works for a short period, otherwise the veggies are going to burn straight over the fire. But look at the fat dripping on to the veggies. A little bit of smoke is twirling up. That's going to be so tasty. Look at all these beautiful roasted ingredients. They all became so much more than they were. Juicy, sweet, tender. Now I'm going to cut them up and put them in my kitchen machine. It takes 4 red bell peppers, 1 roasted onion, and we're gonna blitz that first. Make sure I got a smooth puree. Then I'm gonna add the juice of half a roasted lemon, a tablespoon of olive oil, a teaspoon of table salt, half a teaspoon of ground cayenne pepper, and finally I'm adding 3 roasted garlic cloves. Now all I need to do is blitz it again. Fire roasted bell pepper salsa is done. The ribs have been roasting 2.5 hours, and now they look absolutely gorgeous. As you can see, I already removed 1 rack because that rack was thinner and it was done earlier. And when cooking over an open fire like this, you gotta constantly move the meat around. Make sure that the flames and the radiation heat hit all of the meat differently. Like, you wanna get all angles of it. The bottom, the top, and that's why this is such a perfect tool. Just rotate it, move it around closer, further from the heat, and then your ribs turn out absolutely perfect. Now let's get these off and do the taste test. Beautiful, juicy ribs, roasted over an open fire like they do in Finland.
From an aesthetic point of view, this is an awesome video to make. It's just like I keep on making shots. Shots, and every shot is beautiful. It's just so much fun to do, even for the people that are filming it. So imagine how fun it is for the people that are actually grilling on it.
Let's give these a try. Look at the bite. Let's cook to perfection.
And these are hella juicy. Words can't describe it. I'm almost drowning. Finland, you know how to grill.
Fall off the bone tender, juicy as can be. These are amazing. It's totally different than the texture that you get from smoked ribs because it hasn't been cooked as long as smoked ribs. So it's a bit more like it has a bit more bite to it. This is so good. And I've roasted some bread over the fire. Just look at it. Nice and golden brown. I'm gonna dip some of that fire roasted salsa on it. And those paprika salsas, they're really popular still in like Turkey, Hungary, more of like the eastern parts of Europe. You can get these in any store. It's like a basic type of food. But if you make them at home, roasted over an open fire, this is really good.
Wow.
You like that? He likes that. The bread. Morsen's a bread guy.
Oh, but I'm also a salsa guy.
And a cheese guy. And a meat guy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, then make sure you click on the next video that I put on Morsen's head.
What?
And I want to say a big thank you to our patrons and the YouTube members. I hope to see you guys soon. And until then,
Eet smakelijk.
and keep on grilling.